Emma stepped into her new home for the first time, a wooden house that she would now share with her husband, Lucas, and his elder brother, Ethan, a serious and reserved man who had always carried the weight of the family on his shoulders. At first glance, the house seemed peaceful, but Emma could sense a subtle tension in the air, curious glances, whispered words, and the feeling of being an outsider in her own new family. Determined to fit in, Emma helped with cooking, cleaning, and talking with her mother-in-law. Yet, whenever she saw Ethan, her heart would beat in a way she could not explain. He was stern and quiet, yet his eyes held a quiet sadness that drew her in, making her both empathetic and uneasy. On the very first evening, after dinner, Emma found herself tidying the kitchen when she accidentally ran into Ethan in the hallway. He looked at her for a long moment, silent, his gaze deep and intense, making Emma blush. "Emma, be careful with the stove," Ethan said, his voice low, yet filled with concern. Emma nodded, trying to reassure herself, "It's just family concern, nothing more." Over the next few days, Emma gradually adjusted to the rhythms of her new home. But each time Ethan appeared, a strange feeling arose in her chest. She wanted to be near him yet feared overstepping any boundaries. They began to converse over small things, work, books, childhood memories. Emma realized that Ethan carried a loneliness no one else could see, and she began to empathize, feeling an unusual closeness to him. One rainy afternoon, Emma and Ethan sought shelter under the porch. The rain pattered rhythmically on the roof, creating a calming melody. Emma hesitated, glancing at him, and Ethan spoke first. "Emma, do you ever feel lonely?" The question startled her. She had never imagined that Ethan, the man everyone viewed as strong and reserved, could open up like this. "Sometimes, yes," she admitted softly. "Especially since I just moved in, it feels strange being here." Ethan smiled faintly, but his expression remained thoughtful. "Me too. Many times. I feel like I don't belong anywhere." In that quiet moment, two strangers connected over shared feelings, gazing at one another in silence. Emma felt a closeness she could not deny, yet her heart reminded her that their connection must remain at the level of friendship and family. Despite this, the incidental encounters and small conversations began to weave a delicate, complex bond. Neither of them spoke openly about it, but both felt an inexplicable emotional pull and intellectual and emotional attraction beyond ordinary understanding. Unspoken secrets started to accumulate. Emma couldn't stop thinking about Ethan, and he too wrestled with his emotions, wanting to protect the family while simultaneously struggling with feelings he could not ignore. One day, as they worked together in the garden, Lucas arrived earlier than expected. He noticed them standing close, their hands brushing as they arranged potted plants. He smiled awkwardly, but his eyes betrayed suspicion. Emma's heart sank, and Ethan remained silent, aware that their growing bond was becoming a delicate, precarious situation. Emma tried to maintain distance from Ethan, immersing herself in household chores and time with Lucas. But fate seemed relentless. Ethan would always appear to assist, quietly attentive. One evening, their mother-in-law asked both of them to tidy the backyard together. The golden light of sunset bathed the garden, casting long shadows. Silence fell between them, broken only by the rustle of leaves and the distant call of birds. Every glance Ethan gave Emma made her chest ache. "Ethan, do you ever regret taking on family responsibilities so early?" Emma asked, her voice gentle. He paused, thoughtful. "Sometimes, yes. But I couldn't abandon them. My brother and mother needed me." As for myself, he trailed off, his gaze wandering. Emma understood. He was hiding the depth of his loneliness. She felt a surge of empathy, yet feared that this understanding could complicate things further. Tension increased when Lucas began noticing subtle changes in Emma's demeanor around Ethan, lingering glances, unspoken communications. His eyes often followed them, filled with quiet suspicion, making Emma feel trapped and guilty. A week later, a major misunderstanding erupted. Emma overheard Lucas speaking on the phone with a friend. "I think Emma is getting a little too close to Ethan. I'm not sure if it's harmless." Emma's heart sank. All her efforts to maintain boundaries felt futile. Ethan too felt the weight of pressure, his gaze heavy whenever he looked at her. They realized their emotions had crossed a line internally, yet they had to restrain themselves to protect the family. That evening, while rearranging the living room together, Emma finally voiced her fears. "Ethan, do you feel awkward about all this?" He remained silent for a few seconds before replying, "I know. But we have to protect the family. We cannot let our feelings ruin everything." In that shared acknowledgement, both felt a quiet, painful understanding. Their bond was deepening, yet it brought only tension and restraint. Winter arrived, and the household tension grew. Lucas noticed the smallest details, the way Emma looked at Ethan, their private conversations. One evening, he confronted her directly. "Emma, do you like Ethan?" Emma froze. She knew she could no longer hide her feelings. I don't want to make things complicated. But Ethan, he's someone I care about, like a friend, but she trailed off, tears welling in her eyes. Lucas remained silent for a moment, then spoke calmly, "I understand. But you need to be clear with yourself and with me. Our family cannot fall apart." Emma realized that even subtle secrets could cause harm. Ethan too understood that they must confront their emotions responsibly, ensuring nothing would destroy the family. Emma, Lucas, and Ethan sat together for an honest conversation. Emma admitted her feelings but emphasized her love for Lucas and her desire to protect their family. Ethan confessed his emotional struggles but vowed to maintain distance and respect boundaries. After days of tension, the family found balance. Emma felt relief, Lucas gained a deeper understanding of his wife, and Ethan found peace in fulfilling his responsibilities while acknowledging his emotions. Life gradually returned to calm. Emma learned to manage her feelings, Ethan learned to express care without overstepping, and Lucas learned to trust his wife. The previously unspoken emotions and subtle bonds became shared experiences that strengthened their family unity. The story concludes on a tranquil afternoon. Emma, Lucas, and Ethan sat together on the porch, sipping tea and watching the sun dip below the horizon. Smiles were exchanged, and they silently recognized that love, though complicated and sometimes challenging, could be guided by understanding, honesty, and familial devotion.